Alright guys, I'm going to be changing out these front turn signal lights. I made a bracket here to accept these lights. So it looks something like this. Okay. This bracket will actually screw onto the screws that are there. I don't know if you can see in the holes. It's a little hard to see there. They'll just attach right on after removing this, and then wire up the lights. So first you're going to remove these two Phillips heads. Okay, so once you have those removed, you just pull this assembly out. And you can see there's 3 wires here. We're going to use 2 of those. Basically one is running light, which we're not going to use. We're just going to use the turn signal and the ground. So we're going to go ahead and cut back, leaving about 2 or 3 inches here. So if you ever want to sell these, you can. Makes it easier for someone else to splice into it. So now we're going to tie into these wires here and see which one's the running and which one's the turn signal. We may be able to get away with wiring both to the LED. I'll have to test that out and see if that's going to work. Alright guys, so I determined that the black line is actually the ground. You can see here on my meter. Okay, and then when you go to touch one of the other ones, you get 12 volts. Okay, so one's turn signal and one is running light. Okay, right now I have the turn signal on. Let me go turn it off and we'll figure out which one's the turn signal line. So after wiring it all up, I noticed that this light, see how fast it's blinking now, wasn't blinking at all. So I had to install this load equalizer. The reason why it wasn't blinking is because I have LEDs on the rear as well. And if you run LEDs around your whole vehicle, eventually the vehicle thinks that there's no bulbs in line. What this does is it tricks the system to thinking that there's actually a bulb in line. This is actually a 25, looks like 25 watt unit. It's made by Pilot. It's a 25W6RJ. So I don't know if you can see that there. You get these things over at O'Reilly's. The one thing I want to note about these things run really hot, so you need to be careful and wire them up in a spot that they're not going to heat up anything. Before you close it up though, you're going to want to make sure you heat shrink everything closed. Now these are specific connectors that have heat shrink hose on it. A lot of them don't. For instance, like these are just hard lined. You got to put your own shrink wrap over that if you want to protect it from water. I prefer these because it's all in one. You just heat it up and it makes a great connection. With this wire, what I did was I just put a connection on it. I'm going to heat shrink the one side but leave the other side open. Just so if I want to connect the stock lights back on, I can use this. As you can see in there, I zip tied it so when the door is closed, it's not touching anything, it's just hanging in the air. That'll allow the heat to dissipate without burning up other wires. Alright guys, that's what it is finished. Let me get it turned on, you can see it blinking. So you guys might ask why I went with a black outer ring on this. Eventually I'm going to be painting this Jeep textured black, and then I'm going to have like an orange mist on it, and then some orange decals on it. But in the meantime, I wanted to paint these black just so I didn't have to take them off and paint them again later, which I probably will, only because I am going to be painting this whole front grille and I got to pull off all the other trim work. But in any case, I think they look alright black like that, and I think kind of gives it a neat look. So thanks guys for watching. Join me on the next one.